welcome to Songkla Rajapat MOOC English for the Workplace program. I'm Stephen Judge, and this is the second video on presentations. Before we talked about the language and also how to organize a presentation, today I want to talk to you about how to give a successful presentation to make it look professional, smooth, and get the success that you want. Now, to review last time, we talked about the 5 main reasons people give presentations. The first is to give people information. The second is to inspire people to act. Third is to sell something. Fourth is to teach. And finally, the last is to show that you understand a topic. Now that one's probably the most familiar to you because we ask students to do that all the time. But in a workplace, the idea of who and what you're going to talk about will change. So, example, you might be giving presentations to your bosses, you might be giving presentation to customers or prospective customers, people who aren't but you want them to their business, or to co-workers. And examples, so maybe you're giving a presentation to your boss about a new business strategy, so it's new, you're giving him new information. Maybe you're talking to a customer, explaining the benefits of a new product. That could be selling something or just giving new information. You could be talking to new customers because you want their business and you're showing that your service is the best in the market. Or you could be talking about your coworkers, reporting your work effort, showing that you understand the work that's being done in your department. These are all common presentations that you'll find that people do in the workplace. Now, take a second, and I want you to think about what are the signs or what's common in a good presentation. So before we begin, I want you to think about what in your mind are a sign or signs of a good presentation. Is it entertaining? Is it fluid? Is it good visual images? Is it thought-provoking? For you, what is a good presentation? For me, I have 10 steps to a good presentation that I think all presenters need to follow if they want to do a great presentation. So my 10 steps are: 1. Leaving nothing to chance. 2. Know exactly how to start. 3. Get straight to the point at the beginning. 4. Talk to your audience. 5. Speak naturally but with pauses. 6. Know your audience. 7. Take your time. 8. Let the visuals speak for themselves. 9. Welcome questions from the audience. And finally, 10. Finish strongly and summarize. Now, we talked about some of these ideas in the earlier videos, but let's review them individually and understand the ideas. So let's start with number 1, step 1. Leave nothing to chance. So that means check everything before you start. So check the room you're going to be presenting in. Know the temperature. People react differently. If they're going to be cold, if they're going to be hot, how much of the attention are they going to be able to give you? How irritable or upset or comfortable are they going to be will influence how much they hear what you have to tell them. We also talk about getting to room temperature. Be comfortable in that room. Don't just show up and say, present. Be comfortable, be aware. It lowers your anxiety. It helps you be more aware in the moment and lets you feel a lot more relaxed. Check the seating in the room. What are your audience going to be? What kind of chairs are they going to be comfortable or uncomfortable? Are the acoustics going to be good or bad? Where are they? So the acoustics in the different room. How loud do you have to speak? Are they going to be using speakers? Can you make eye contact with people all around the room? So these are things you want to check and practice before you even start. And finally, or the equipment in the room, so speakers, the projector if you're using one, any visual aids, make sure that you're used to using them and you've practiced using them multiple times before you give your presentation. That way it just seems natural and comfortable. And finally, the visibility, as I mentioned before with the seating, you want to make sure everyone can see you and that you can see everyone, because eye contact is really important. Step number 2 is know exactly how to start. So basically know the first minute of your presentation off by heart. You can do it without thinking. So there's one thing to memorize. There's called conscious and unconscious memorization. Conscious is when you have to think about it and you can remember and do it. And unconscious means you don't even have to think. It's just reaction. And that's where you want to know the first minute. So you want to know every word you're going to say, word for word. You want to know every movement. Are you going to use your hands, tilt your head? Where are you going to look in the audience? You want to know every single action and rehearse it again and again. Doing this will make you feel comfortable, because that's when the people find the most anxiety. And if you're comfortable in that first minute, you will be comfortable for the rest of your presentation. Last and most important, at any time in your presentation, do not read. It's very obvious when you're reading, and it doesn't seem genuine when you read the script instead of just talking. So again, most importantly, do not read at any time. So no flashcards, no, just do not read. Okay, our next step number 3, is get straight to the point. In the first minute of your presentation, you want to make a powerful statement that I call bang. Now I'm going to go over this later on in the video, but bang is you want to make an impact. So bang! And everyone's awake. You have everyone's attention. No one's looking at their phone, because you don't want people just and looking at their phone. You want to make sure everyone hears. So the best way to do that is bang. To keep the bang going, you also want to avoid boring introductions. Hello, and not robotic. Hello, my name is Robert. You don't want to do that, because you'll ruin your bang. So keep it short, keep it sweet, and you do have to introduce yourself, but keep the bang rolling into your presentation. Step 4 is talk to your audience, not talk at your audience. You're not giving a lecture, you're not rambling on, so you want to talk to your audience. So it should sound like a conversation when you're talking to them. Ask them questions, make eye contact. Don't just stare off the distance and ramble on. Make it so that they are part of the conversation, that they have attachment to you and your message. This takes a lot of practice and rehearsal to master. And the great presenters in history are really good at this skill. And it's really good to master, especially if you get into a job of sales or any leadership that you want, that you have to do presentation in the future. Number 5 is speak naturally with pauses. So your sentences should be short and simple. So the KISS acronym, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Short, easy sentences. Don't ramble on. Also, use pauses when you're talking. Pauses give your audience time to think about what you said, and a good time pause can emphasize an important point in your presentation. So don't forget to stop and give your audience some time to think about what you're saying. Silence is sometimes a good thing. Step 6, know your audience. Use language that your audience understands. So this is a little difficult for me because some of this might be for advanced English speakers. Some of this might be for beginning English speakers. So I have to use very simple language in my presentation because of my audience. So if you're an engineer giving a presentation to some business majors, maybe you don't want to use advanced science terminology or language to explain your system or your product because they won't understand. People, when they don't understand, become less interested in a topic when you're presenting. Also, during your presentation, you want to address their goals, their needs, and their concerns. There has to be a reason why they're listening. They want to get something, so give it to them during the presentation. And this goes back to step 4 of you want it to be a conversation. So they want to hear something that will advance them, something that will benefit them. Make sure it's there in your presentation, or else you will lose them completely and they will not be interested. And finally, you want to treat your audience as equals. You might be the boss talking to your workers and teaching them how to do something. But if you stand at a podium and talk down to them, they might not like that. And they might stop listening to you because no one really likes being talked down to. So try to remember that your audience is intelligent and creative. And so you might have more knowledge than them, but once you've given them the knowledge, they may be able to use it in ways you haven't thought about. So treat them with respect. They're still learning, and you should treat them with a level of respect that they are humans and they deserve. Step 7, take your time. A common mistake people do when they're giving a presentation is to talk very fast because they're nervous. Public speaking is one of the biggest anxieties that people have, and because of that, they just talk, and forget to breathe. So going back to have a pause. So remember, take your time. Think about how fast you're talking. Slow down if you need to. And it's okay to be nervous. You can't hide it, but don't keep talking fast. Be aware. Again, use the pause after important moments to let your audience think about what you've talked about. And that's a great way to make a point. Step 8 is let visuals speak for themselves. So if you're going to use a picture or a chart in your presentation, don't describe it, don't tell the audience what it means or what it represents. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Just let the picture talk for itself. Let the chart speak for itself. There's ways that we talked about pointing it out in like charts and using language, but you don't have to say everything. Let the audience think for themselves. They can do that. Again, show them respect, and they will be more inclined to follow you and agree with you, especially if you're doing sales, if they're doing the thinking for themselves. Step 9 is welcome questions from the audience. Again, you want to do a conversation, not talk at your audience. So this is a great way to make it more of a conversation. There are 2 common ways for handling questions. One is during your presentation, which means you have to be really good and you have to know everything about your topic and be ready for any type of question, and also know how to handle questions that you don't know the answer to, and how to set them so you're still confident and you can get the answer to them later. So questions are always good. They show that people are interested. People who are uninterested don't ask questions. And you know this as students. When your teacher asks you, anybody have questions? And everyone's like, no, because they've probably tuned out. So someone asks you a question, they're interested. So make sure you know the answer, or you know how to get answers, and to give them an answer in the future. Also, use questions to get your message across. Politicians are great at this. You can see them in interviews, and when a politician asks them a question and they kind of answer it, but then they bring out a positive point on something else. Good presenters do this. Oh, that's a great question, Jim. I'm glad you asked. And they use that to upgrade their presentation, and it makes the audience part of the presentation. So this is a really good skill to develop, especially if you're giving a lot of presentations. The last step in giving a good presentation is finish all presentations strongly and summarize. So when you finish, you want to slow down. So you can be talking at a good pace, but slow down so everyone can hear you. When you slow down, the audience tunes in more because they know something important is being said. Lower your voice. So you can be talking up here, but then to finish, and you want to slow down and lower your voice. Again, indicating you're going to say something important. Say your final words slowly and clearly, that everyone understands exactly what you're saying. And then take a pause to let them reflect and think about what you said, and have an emotional reaction to everything you just said. And then finally, say thank you, appreciate your audience, and then sit down. And that's it. That's your 10 steps to a good presentation. So, again, leave nothing to chance. Test, practice everything before you give your presentation. Know the first minute of your presentation off by heart, everything movement, words, so you are comfortable and smooth. The beginning, get straight to the point, have a bang, introduce yourself, and keep going. Don't ramble on. Get everyone interested, excited, and keep it moving. Talk to your audience. Don't talk at, you're not giving a lecture. Make it a conversation. Ask questions. Make eye contact. Make the information important and tell them, give them examples and show them why it's important to them to know. Speak naturally when you're talking. Remember, slow down. Also use pauses to get them to think about what you're saying, and also to help you from talking too fast, and also giving you time to think. Know your audience. Know what they're interested in. Know what information they need to know. Know what they want to know and what they want to do. And know what language is the right language for them so they can understand and not become disinterested. Take your time. When you're nervous, you talk fast. Remember, slow down. Let visual aids speak for themselves. Welcome questions from the audience if you want to do it during the presentation or after. That's entirely up to you. And finally, finish strong and summarize like I've done just here. Next, we're going to move on to the different stages of a typical presentation. Good luck and see you in our next video.